Alright, so this is the last video. The rest of page 42 through 45. R325.1764, plugging in special situations. Rule 264. The method of abandonment of a dewatering well installed in the situations described in R325.1765 and R325.1766 or other special situations shall be determined after considering the requirements of all the parties concerned and shall be approved in writing by the department. The procedure shall be used as a general guide and may be modified by the department after a conference of concerned parties. R325.1765, artesian flows and bedrock. Rule 365. 1. A dewatering well terminated in aquifers under sufficient head to provide a flow above the working grade shall be sealed with neat cement grout or other method approved by the department to contain completely the flow caused by the artesian head. 2. A dewatering well penetrating the bedrock shall have the part of the well drilled into the bedrock formation, sealed with neat cement grout. The plug-in shall be completed by a layer of neat cement grout extending at least 15 feet above the top of the bedrock. Neat cement grout shall be added from the bottom of the hole upward in one continuous operation as the casing is removed. R325.1766, water of poor chemical quality or producing methane. Rule 266. 1. A dewatering well that produces water which is sufficiently contaminated or high in mineral content to constitute a significant hazard to lakes, streams, or to groundwater aquifers by direct infiltration or inter-aquifer migration shall be filled and sealed with the method of abandonment being determined by a conference. 2. A dewatering well that is producing methane gas at the time the well is to be filled and sealed shall be plugged with neat cement grout with the precise procedure determined by a conference. R325.1768, dewatering well drilling records. Rule 268. A dewatering well contractor shall furnish the health officer 2 copies and the contractor responsible for abandoning the dewatering well 1 copy, and shall retain 1 copy for his files of a well record containing such available information as is required on the dewatering well record form. Data obtained during the dewatering well drilling activities shall be reported on a form furnished by the department or such other form approved by the department. For one project location, information on all holes with similar geologic formation may be submitted on a single well record form. However, an individual record shall be provided for a dewatering well drilled into bedrock or other dewatering well that produces methane gas or produces water which is contaminated or high in mineral content or artesian flow above working grade. The dewatering well drilling contractor may substitute soil boring records for the construction project in lieu of submitting dewatering well drilling records if all dewatering wells are less than 40 feet in depth. R325.1771, registration qualifications. Rule 271. After April 1st, 1974, a person who represents a dewatering well contractor or dewatering well pump installer, except for those qualified under R325.1772, shall meet the minimum requirements for registration under this Act. A. At least 2 years of experience in his respective field in an underground contracting with supervisory or actual field experience in this state relating to the drilling of at least 20 dewatering wells for a drilling contractor and 20 pump installations for a pump installer. B. Completion of the 10th grade in high school or submission of proof of equivalent ability demonstrated by successful completion of approved short courses or written examination. The board may accept up to 4 years of work experience for equal years of education, in addition to the subdivision A experience requirement. C. Reference statements from 2 persons, one of whom shall be a registered dewatering well drilling or pump installer contractor under the Act and familiar with the applicant's work experience, honest integrity, and ability to perform the work of a dewatering well drilling or pump installer contractor shall be submitted before advisory board approval to take the examination. R325.1772 Grandfather Clause. Rule 272. An individual who is a member or employee of a registered dewatering well drilling or pump installing firm with a minimum of 2 years experience in his respective field of work before April 30th, 1974, and who files by April 30th, 1975, a record of experience and background with the department on a form prepared for this purpose may be registered upon application. This individual shall be registered without meeting the educational qualifications and without taking the written examination if he has been employed continuously in the dewatering well trade. R325.1773 Submission of Applications. Rule 273. An application for an initial or renewal registration shall be made to the department on forms prescribed by it. An application shall be accompanied by the fee prescribed by the Act in the form of a bank draft, check, or money order payable to the state of Michigan. A renewal application shall be submitted by March 1st of each year to permit time for issuance of the renewal certificate by May 1st as required by the Act. The initial fee shall be refunded to an applicant not qualified to take the examination. R325.1774 Advisory Board Review. Rule 274. The advisory board created by the Act shall evaluate an applicant for registration carefully with the assistance of a representative from the dewatering well drilling industry and forward its advice to the department. The board may conduct oral interviews and require affidavits or other supporting evidence to determine qualification of an applicant. R325.1775 Examinations. Rule 275. A person representing a dewatering well contractor or pump installer may take the examination only after fulfilling all requirements in the rules and having various aspects of dewatering well operations before being registered under Section 5 of the Act. This examination may be any combination of written, oral, or practical work administered by the advisory board. A candidate failing to pass the examination may apply for re-examination at the expiration of 6 months. R325.1776 Denial of Applications. Rule 276. An application for initial or renewal registration may be denied for any of the following reasons. A. Failure to accompany the application with the prescribed fee. B. Failure of the applicant to meet the experience and education qualifications of registration. And C. Other good and sufficient cause after due notice and proper hearing. R325.1777 Certificates Initial Renewal Limited. Rule 277. 1. The initial certificate issued to a registered dewatering well drilling contractor or pump installer shall be non-transferable and contain the names of the contractor and representative, date of issuance, expiration date, certificate number, and signature of the director. 2. A renewal certificate shall consist of a registration card and duplicate containing the names of the contractor and representative, expiration date, certificate number, and signature of the director. One section of the card shall be kept with the original registration certificate, and a copy shall be carried on the person representing the registered contractor. 3. The initial and renewal certificate shall authorize a registered dewatering well contractor to participate in all dewatering well activities, but he is limited to dewatering well installations and related operations, including pump installation for dewatering installations and abandonment of dewatering wells. A registered dewatering well pump installer is limited to pump installations, operation, and abandonment of dewatering wells. R 325.1778 Reciprocity. Rule 278. The Secretary of the Advisory Board shall obtain requirements for registration in the state from which an applicant requests reciprocity as either a registered dewatering well drilling contractor or pump installer, and confirm that the applicant was in fact registered. R 325.1779 Reinstatement of lapsed, suspended, and revoked certificates. Rule 279. 1. A registration certificate which has expired for failure of the registrant to apply and pay renewal fees may be reinstated by the department. A. Within 3 years upon receipt of a renewal application with the advice of the advisory board and payment of renewal registration fees for each year during which registration has lapsed in accordance with the fee and penalty schedule in the Act. B. After 3 years after examination in accordance with the rules for new applicants. 2. A holder for a certificate of registration which has been suspended or revoked in accordance with the Act after a waiting period equal to the period of suspension but may not to exceed 9 months after the registration certificate was suspended or revoked may petition the director for a hearing for reinstatement of his registration certificate. R 325.1781 Dewatering well drilling machine registration. Rule 281. 1. A drilling machine registration card shall be issued for identification purposes for each drilling machine by a dewatering well drilling contractor. The card shall be carried on the drilling machine at all times where it may be inspected at any reasonable hour upon request of an authorized representative of the department or a health officer. The registration card expires on April 30th each year. 2. The registration card and duplicate seals furnished for a dewatering well drilling machine are not transferable. The card and seal shall be returned to the director when a drilling machine is sold, traded, or otherwise disposed of. A registration card and 2 new seals for a drilling machine so transferred will be provided without cost upon receipt of the old card. The 2 old seals in an application requesting authorization to operate a different drilling machine. That's it. You're done. It's the end. Except for the appendix, which mostly just has pictures and diagrams, but I figure you probably know that because you work with it every day.